Hi guys, so I'm excited to make this video for you today. I got a new toy. I've probably had it 3 weeks or something by now, but I've been doing a lot of experimenting and taking recipes that I made stovetop or in the oven and trying it. So right there, you see, right there, I have an Instapot. Yay! Yay for Mr. Cheapskate for buying me an Instapot. I'm so excited. So I've been taking recipes that I usually make stovetop or in the oven. I've been trying it in the Instapot to see what happens. And one recipe in particular we tried in the Instapot and the whole family was like, wow, this takes it up to the next level. It makes the texture better, makes the bite better, makes the flavor better. So I'm going to show you today how I make seitan in the Instapot. Here we go. Alright, I moved you over here so that you'd have a better view. I posted a seitan recipe probably about a year ago, just a basic seitan recipe, and it's basically the same recipe I'm using today, only I don't have poultry seasoning, so I'm going to be using a blend of sage and thyme, and then I'm adding also, I've been finding when I add a little bit of chili powder to some recipes, just a little bit, not enough to bring the heat, but just enough to, like, I don't know, elevate the flavor a little bit. So I'm adding a tiny bit of chili powder and then the sage and the thyme instead of poultry seasoning. But yeah, I'm going to angle you down here so that you can see what's going on and tell you what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Here we go. Okay, so here I have 2 cups of Vital Wheat gluten. Usually I buy it out of the bulk bin. However, today I'm using Bob's Red Mill. Not that that makes any difference. It's all the same. And then to that, I'm going to add half of a cup of nutritional yeast. Oops. And also, this one here has a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And that goes in. Oh, hold on, we got some clingers. Clingers. Okay. And then here's what I was talking about before, where I'm using half of a tablespoon, not half a tablespoon, teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of sage and half a teaspoon of thyme, and just a 1/4 teaspoon, just a little dash of the chili powder there. Again, we don't want to make it hot, we just want to add some depth of flavor. And then you want to whisk this really well, because once you add your liquid, this comes together very quickly, and if it's not blended really well, your seasoning and your nutritional yeast is not going to be evenly distributed through the seitan. So just like that is good, just really whisked in there so that all the flavors are spread throughout there. Now we're going to prepare our liquid. This is a 1.25 cups of vegetable broth. I diluted better than bouillon, and I went a little heavy. I didn't use the teaspoon that you would usually use for a cup. I used more like a tablespoon because I really want the flavor to be strong in the seitan. And then to that we're going to add approximately a tablespoon of the liquid smoke, about that much. You know what, we're going to go, I'm just going to finish the bottle. Okay, and then at this point I would usually also add a tablespoon of soy sauce. However, I'm out of soy sauce, so this time my seitan will not have that soy sauce flavor. And now this is when they come together, and you'll see as soon as I pour this in, it's going to really quickly come together. You can actually see the action happening where it's already pulling together on its own, but we're going to give it some help. I mean, you can see how that pulls together? Anyway, so we're going to mix this together. You're just going to work this around until all that powder is incorporated. But now you see how quickly that came together. You see why it's important to have those flavors, those seasonings and things mixed in really well into the gluten. Okay. Okay, and here's the part where I'm going to kind of get my hands in there. Take your rings off, because this stuff will get all up in your settings for real. Okay, and just get in there and just kind of knead it around. You can take it out and knead it on the counter if you want, but I just clean these counters. I don't want to do that again. So I'm just going to kind of knead it around in the bowl, and you just want to get those proteins to elongate so that you get a meaty texture. Yes, dear. Oh, look, I got some art. You want to show them while I'm kneading? Oh, she made hearts. Aren't those cute?
I used paper, scissors, and glue.
Ah.
That's what you need. And
okay.
Make sure you have 2 papers.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to knead this a little bit more. Okay, now what I do is you can...
Can I have some cheese?
Some cheese? Yes, you can have some follow your heart American style slices. Okay, so at this point, there's so many options that you can do. You can chop this up into little tiny pieces, little bite-sized like nuggies. You can break it into 2 chunks and make like 2 loaves. You can make 1 massive loaf, whatever you want. I am going to roll it out into little patties. That way they're good for like sandwiches, burger patties. I can freeze them and thaw them, and the texture improves even more. But yeah, so I'm going to make these into little patties real quick. And for that, I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper. And I'm just going to, oh, I'm making a mess. Hold on one second. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just going to put a little piece here, and I'm just going to roll it out into a thin, till it's thin, into a thin patty. I'm going to go ahead and fold it first, make it a little easier. Okay, so these would like almost double in size. So you really only need like a little chunk like that to make a patty. I know it's probably pretty noisy. So there we go in our parchment paper. And we're just going to roll it out. Ooh, and roll it out into a little patty. You want it pretty thin because, like I said, it will poof up. Once I take it off of here, it's going to poof up a bit, you'll notice. And then once we put it into, once it goes into the Instapot, it's going to puff up a little bit too. Sorry, that was a little lopsided. Okay, so there we go. So it's kind of, right now, it's kind of thin and just a little circle. We'll just do that with the rest of this dough. Okay, so when I go to stick it in to the Instapot, I'll kind of stretch it out a little bit more and then drop it in. But that's pretty much it. They're going to double in size, but that's the patties. And now I'll take you to the Instapot and show you the rest. Okay, now you're at my Instapot, and I'm kind of embarrassed because I just noticed that you can see my laundry area, and it's very messy because I was cleaning house today, and that's where I kind of chucked things that need to be put away. So don't look at right there. You don't see that, okay? All right, so you're at the Instapot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to angle you down so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. All right. Whew, coffee break. So here is the Instapot. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay these guys in there. I didn't have any problem with sticking. I hope that'll be the case again today. But I had absolutely no issues the first time I tried this. Now, keeping in mind, this is only the second time that I'm trying this. So, all right, and then I also layered these guys. And again, it didn't seem to cause any issues. Once again, it's only the second time. So hopefully all will go just as well this time as it did last time. I'm just going to kind of layer these guys in there. Okay. Okay. And then all we're going to do, absolutely all we're going to do, is we're going to cover these with water. Just want to make sure they're absolutely covered. That's pretty good. And see, like with the water in there, it's like they aren't sticky anymore. That's kind of weird. They go from being really sticky to not sticky at all. Okay, so now they're covered with water. I don't know how well you can see that, but they're completely under the water.
Sorry.
Okay, and then I'm just going to, you ready? I love that. I love it. Okay, and then we're going to set it to sealing. Okay, and then I'm going to, let me show you what I'm doing over here for those of you. Okay, so then all I'm going to do is hit manual. I don't know if you saw that. I hit the manual button right here. And then I'm just going to, actually, that's what I'm going to leave it at. I'm going to leave it at 3 minutes. And now it's going to build up the pressure, and then it will cook for 3 minutes. And then I'm just going to let this cool in here. Like, I'm not cool, but when the time's up, I'm not going to vent it. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, and so now that those are in there, it's set to sealing, time set, it's building pressure. I'm just going to let that go, and I'll be back with you all when this guy beeps that he's ready. So it's getting into evening, so my lighting from behind the camera is not looking quite so good. But, okay, so it took 12 minutes for the Instant Pot to get to pressure and start counting down on the 3-minute cook time. And then it is now on the keep warm, and it's been here for 35 minutes. The pin has dropped. I'll show you that. Now we're going to need the light. Okay, so the pin has dropped, indicating the pressure is released. Now, if this red was sticking up, of course we would not be able to open the Instant Pot. I did not use the quick method on the seitan, just because I just kind of wanted it to go on its own like I did last time, because it just turned out so perfect last time. Alright, so now we're ready to open it up. And this might fog y'all up for a second. Oh, not too bad. Alright. Okay, so you see our nice patties floating in there. Let me get something to pull them out. Way to be prepared, huh? Not even ready to pull them out for you. Okay, and there's a little bit of stick, very little. I can feel the tension when I go to pull them up, but it's very, very little tension. Okay, so here's what they look like. And you can see just how firm they've gotten. They're still very hot, so it's hard to touch, but I can feel like with my tongs here that they're pretty firm, okay? So what I'm going to do with these is I've got, you see these guys, the little steamer basket? I'm setting that into a bowl. Here's the bowl. All right, and I'm just going to lay these in here so that any excess fluid will drain off of them. And then these are not for tonight. When you make seitan, you can't eat it that night. I mean, you could, but the flavor is going to be so much better on day 2. And also, you see the color of these? If I had added the soy sauce, like I usually do, they would have a little bit browner, more of a brown coloring. Let me use proper English here. All right, so there we go. Just gonna pile these in here, and I'll just leave this in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow I'll put it in once a lot. Oh, that one broke. I was pinching kind of hard. Okay. So tomorrow, once they've drained a bit, I can put them into I don't see any yet. I'll put them into a like Tupperware container. But for now, I'm going to set them I'm going to let them finish cooling because I don't want to put them in the fridge like this. It'll fog up everything in my fridge. So I'm just going to let that cool. And then I'll stick it into the fridge. And tomorrow, we will be having seitan some way or another. You can put this straight into a frying pan. A nonstick frying pan or a frying pan sprayed with nonstick spray. And make just like a burger patty. You could grill it on a nonstick grill or again on a oiled grill. I haven't tried it without oil to see if it doesn't stick. If you're oil free, try that and see if it works. Sometimes I bread them and fry them like I did in my original seitan video. That seems to be like a family favorite if I'm doing, like a southern fried. These kids. If I'm doing a southern fried dinner where I do like the fried okra, mashed potatoes and gravy, then I'll fry it up. What else can you do? I mean, you could just warm it up and have it in a sandwich if you really wanted to. Anyway, so let me tell you what I'm going to do with this water that was left in here. I use broth and sometimes I just use water. In this case I just used water, but I can add a little bit of the better than bouillon to this water and then use it as my liquid for a gravy. So if I'm going to do these patties in a southern fried style, I would make like a country gravy with this where I did like a flour base with a little bit of earth balance. Put a little bit of earth balance and your flour, and you cook that out until the flour cooks a little bit, and then you add your liquid. Well, I can use this cooking liquid, which has some of the flavor from the patties, plus it'll have the added flavor of the better than bouillon as the gravy liquid. And then you just, you slowly incorporate that, and then you let it boil, and then it thickens. So yeah, I always reserve my cooking fluid, whether I use broth or water, to make gravies with, or to make seitan again. So that's how I made seitan in the Instant Pot. I hope you give it a try. If you do and you like it, let me know. Please like this video and subscribe for more plant-based recipes. Have a great day.